Coming up on Dispatch tonight, your layout photos, the question of the week, and a big shout out. Starting right now. Good evening. You're watching Dispatch, the weekly variety show for model railroaders. I'm Roy Smith, your dispatcher. I'd like to welcome those of you who are here in the studio audience tonight. You're always welcome here in the train room. I'd also like to welcome all of you out there on YouTube. It's great fun to share the hobby with you online, and guess what? We can share the hobby no matter what scale you model in. We've got a great show lined up for you tonight, so don't go away. We'll be right back after this brief message. On this channel, we share the world's greatest hobby with you in Dispatch every Tuesday night and layout updates every Saturday morning right here. Don't miss out. Be sure to subscribe. Okay, as I said, we have your layout photos, the question of the week, and a big shout out here on Dispatch tonight. First up, your layout photos. I love to see the layout photos that so many of you post each week on the Facebook group called the N-Scale Union Pacific Evanston Subdivision Group. As always, I have brought your photos over here to Dispatch to share with everyone during the show. And here they are. After the show, go over to the Facebook group, join the group, and post a photo of your layout there. Again, it doesn't matter what scale you model in, and you can even post photos of your club's layout. I will put a link down below. That will take you to the Facebook group. You will know you're at the right place when you see this photo of Echo Canyon on my layout. Next up on tonight's show, the question of the week. And this week's question is, are you building your layout by yourself, or is someone helping you? I've tabulated your responses to the question, and as this chart shows, a vast majority of you are building your layouts by yourself. Now, many of you who are building your layouts by yourself did mention that friends and family members stop by on occasion, mainly to admire what you are doing and even to run your trains sometimes. Some of you pointed out that you do work with friends at model railroad clubs, but at home you work alone, and often that's the way you prefer it to be. And although you may be building your layout alone, many of you noted that you have had a lot of help from online friends, such as on YouTube and Facebook. In your responses to the question, a number of you said you do have regular help from other people in building your layout. But you said you are responsible for what gets done or doesn't get done, because after all, it is your layout. Me? Well, I'm building my layout by myself. In fact, so far as I know, I'm the only model railroader living in the whole country of Panama. But I do get to share the hobby with all of you right here on this channel. I'd like to thank you for your responses to the question. It's a pleasure to read them and share them here on Dispatch. Okay, we do have a question for the coming week, and here it is. Have you ever left the hobby of model railroading for a long time and then come back to it, perhaps years later? And if so, what brought you back to the hobby? Post your responses to this question in the comments section down below, and I will share your responses in Dispatch next week. Again, the question for the coming week is, have you ever left the hobby of model railroading for a long period of time and then come back to it perhaps years later? And if so, what brought you back to the hobby? And now it's time for tonight's big shout out. And tonight's big shout out goes to Nick Marshall and his multi-level HO scale layout. Nick says his layout is not based directly on any one prototype, but it does take its inspiration from the province of British Columbia, Canada, with vast mountain ranges, valleys, and towns. Nick's layout features rolling stock from various railroads, including CN, CP, BNSF, and UP. His channel features layout updates and rail fanning videos. Nick's 3-level layout is now under construction and is already very impressive. I think you will like it. Let's go over and take a look at it.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to another layout update. So this layout update is going to be for the months of December, January, and February. Without any further ado, I'll show you what's been going on and what I've been up to for the last couple months. So we will start off here in the yard. This is the main entrance to the yard on the lower level. And as you can notice right off the bat, I have installed the car shops. Back there right now it's stuffed full of Via cars. That's just from the recent ops session that I hosted, I guess it would be last weekend or the weekend before that. Now, aside from the track work going on down in the car repair shop, I've also been working on a few little track arrangements up top here on the upper level. So you will remember from previous layout updates, I had ran a switch off of the top of the yard ladder and ran it straight back off to an angle back there, and that was my engine storage tracks or refueling tracks for the return trip downgrade. So we have relocated and we are now looking at the industrial park here at the end of my branch line. And there's been a fairly substantial change at this end of the layout, and that is the fact that there is no longer a swing gate connecting the end of the branch line into the main section of the layout. Alright, so what you're looking at here is a little bit more progress that I've made on the staging. And what this is here is it's going to be a little mini scene. It's that the track work for this entire layout, aside from staging, is about 90% complete. So I'm nearing a huge milestone in getting the track 100% laid, which means I can start to move on to other activities such as scenery and maybe even signaling and block detection around the layout.
Okay, you've seen a bit of Nick's layout right here on Dispatch tonight. Be sure to go over to his channel to see the rest of it. And if you haven't subscribed to his channel yet, I urge you to do so. And don't forget to tell Nick that Roy Smith sent you. I will put a link to his channel down below. Nick, if you're out there somewhere watching Dispatch tonight, I want you to know how much I like your layout. I hope that everyone will join me in watching your continued progress. Now, if you still haven't seen my latest update for last Saturday, be sure to go over and watch it after Dispatch ends tonight. It's called Under the Layout 3 Switch Cats for Turnout Control. In it, I show you how I am installing and programming more NCE switch cats in my staging yard. I will put a link down below that will take you directly to the layout update. Don't miss it. Be sure to join me again for my next layout update this coming Saturday, and of course, next Tuesday night for Dispatch. I'd like to thank all of you in the studio audience for being here tonight. We're going to have hot muffins and coffee in the social area right after the show. I'd like to thank Chris Perry, my friend in New Zealand, for suggesting the muffins. In fact, hot muffins, that's why I came here tonight. And to all of you out there on YouTube, thanks for letting me share the world's greatest hobby with you. Remember, there are tons of other videos for you to watch right here on this channel. In fact, you can go directly to two of them by clicking over here. Well, I'm Roy Smith. It's always a pleasure to hang out with you. Until next time, happy railroading.